Hi, everybody. So I really need a big old giant question mark. I was like, well, should I put one like a marker on a piece of paper? But no. Well, why would I need a question mark? Today, I'm going to talk about some of the frequently asked questions, things that I get from clients, potential clients, people just asking questions, looking for answers, frequently asked questions. So yeah, I may end up putting this as a link on some of my emails. We'll see. We'll see. All right. So let me. I've separated these into categories. Okay. So let's go through these. All right. So the first one is just some general questions. Okay. What services do you offer as a wedding officiant? Well, I specialize in writing those personalized wedding ceremonies, elopements. Those are not quite so personalized, but and I do vow renewals. Those are personalized as well. I love vow renewals because we've got some story, some life story happening since we've been married. I work pretty closely with my couples to create that ceremony that's going to actually show and showcase their love story and their values and that kind of thing. Hopes my neighbor's dogs got out again. uh, anyway, so yeah, I love working with couples and getting those things together. Um, what's the next question? What areas do you serve? I primarily officiate weddings in the San Antonio area. I live south of San Antonio in Somerset. Um, but quite a few, more than half my weddings probably are up in the hill country. I'm actually have considered several times just moving up there because, like I said, the vast majority of my weddings are up in the hill country at this moment. Um, but those are, that's liable to change. So I've done weddings all the way from Fredericksburg to Corpus Christi, South Padre Island. I did done one out there, uh, east to west. Again, not east so much. I haven't been. I can't think of anything over in that way that I've done. But I have done Uvalde. I've done a couple of weddings there. So I mean, I'm all around South Central Texas. So there you go. Now I do travel for an additional fee. I do want to put that out there because yeah, I did note that when I answered the question for somebody. How much do your efficient services cost? Okay, now this is probably the most frequently asked question. And my pricing, it varies according to the type of the ceremony that I'm doing. Of course, an elopement is going to be much less money. If it's going to be at your location for your elopement, that's going to be $225. Okay. Um, if I go to, and not too far from me is the Medina River Natural Area, a really beautiful little park off Highway 16, um, north of 1604, well, between 410 and 1604 on Highway 16 on the south side of that. Um, that's the Medina River Natural Area, and because it's so close to my home, I only charge $125 for that one. Now, my custom weddings, they start at about $360, depending on the location and the different the dates and customization that's going to be required. Average package for couples is about $400, $400 give or take. All right, what's included in your officiant services? All right, so I have a selection of wedding styles. I mean, you can just say, hey, this is what we want. And, we're not religious or we don't want it overly religious or we want it funny, we want it hilarious, we want it, all of that kind of thing. So, all of those things, yeah, varying varying requests for different kinds of weddings that I'm doing. Of course, the option to personalize your vows. I'll give you assistance if you want to write your own, but I've got a whole slew, is a good word, of some pre-written vows. If you feel like you're going to be at a complete and total loss, and we can of course personalize those to your taste and preferences and things like that. And then the ceremony elements. Now, I don't bring anything that would be according to you, but if you're doing like a candle lighting or a sand pouring, hand fasting, ring warming, um, just all those kind of things, what those ceremony elements that you want to put in there, then you'd have to bring your own, like I said, your own accoutrements. um, but we'll be glad to put those into the ceremony for you. Um, there's going to be, unlimited phone and email consultations. I'm always available for you to contact. Um, Again, travel within San Antonio is included. Now, over certain mileage, then we are going to charge for a little bit for, I mean, gas is gas. And, got to partially going to charge a little extra for the gas. And of course, legal filing of your marriage license is also included in that fee. Um, and that's, delivering it to the county clerk. By law, I'm the one that's supposed to submit it. The wedding officiant has to submit it. There's a big giant fine if we don't do it in time and things like that. So, yeah, legal filing of that marriage license is included. All right. What's my next group of questions here that I've got? Oh, booking. How do I book you? How do we book you as our officiant? Well, there you go. That's now we're getting down to it, right? Um, but to secure your date, all you got to do is reach out via email or phone. Let me know that this is something you're interested in. We've usually done a consultation by before somebody actually makes that final decision. We get online together and have our chat and talk about your wedding style and all of that kind of thing, and um, maybe some of the outline what you're thinking about for your ceremony. And if it's, if you feel like we got some kind of a, what do you call it? Chemistry. And that's what I kind of call them, a chemistry check, but it's a consultation. Um, if you feel like we've got that and that I'm going to be your officiant for you, then of course you need to, we'll get an address and, because I've tried anyway, we're not going to talk about that, but I'll get an address, get a contract or an agreement out to you, and you'll of course sign that. You'll need to pay a retainer in order for me to hold that date, so that I don't go to the next person who says, "Hey, I want that same date," and I've got money right now, right? So we want to get that paid as soon as possible, because I have had people that like, "Oh yes, we're going to hire you," and then you know I hold the date open. I have 3 or 4 other people that are like, "Yes, we want to hire you," but I'm already got somebody dangling, and yeah. Not that I've ever had. Yeah, I've had one. I've had one where they said, "Yeah, we changed our mind after I turned down 3 or 4 other people, so I don't do that anymore." It's a first come, first serve kind of situation. I hope you understand. But anyway, the 50% retainer of the total fee is going to be required to keep that date. Okay. How can we customize our ceremony, or can we customize our ceremony? Yes, most definitely. That's my whole thing, my whole what do you call it? What do you call it? That's my whole business essentially, right? I encourage couples to personalize their ceremony. We can put those meaningful vows, we can put those special words to each other, addressing, uh, maybe we're blending a family and we're going to address our stepkids or new stepkids and things like that. There's been some very, tear inducing vows that have happened out there. Some special readings, maybe, some special traditions that are particular, maybe to your family or that you want to integrate into your wedding ceremony. And of course, like I said, we are going to work very closely together. We're going to have a um, couple or 3 months before your actual ceremony. We'll sit down together, actually face to face for an hour. Oops, an hour, I promise, no more than that. And we'll go through absolutely every aspect of your ceremony and make sure that we have every element that you want in there. Okay. We want to go to work together to make sure that it is completely and uniquely yours, your love story, your values, your vibe, all of that kind of thing is reflected in your ceremony. Next one. Do you perform religious or non-religious ceremonies? Well, I do officiate both. I specialize in non-religious, all-inclusive ceremonies, but we can make it spiritual. We can make it secular, anywhere in between, right? And I accept all. Yeah, I don't limit myself to one group of people or anything like that. So it's going to be entirely your call on everything. Okay. Uh, how long does a ceremony typically last? Well, most ceremonies are only about 15 at the most. I don't think I've ever had one touch 30 minutes. But when a planner contacts me and says, hey, how long do I need to set aside for the wedding ceremony? I say 30 minutes because you never know. It may delay things, something may occur. I don't stop usually for sound issues unless it's an unusually large crowd. If all of a sudden somebody says, hey, nobody can hear what you're saying because the microphone has fritzed out or whatever, and the DJ wants to fix it. Now, if the DJ doesn't have a fix, we're just gonna muscle on through, right? I'll just talk a little louder, but um, yeah, I've never had anyone. I've never had a ceremony that lasted even at 30 minutes. I'm thinking about 20 has probably been my longest, but yeah, there you go. I just typically tell a planner 30 minutes. Uh, let's see. Do you attend the rehearsal? I would love to attend your rehearsal. We do want to assure that your wedding party knows where they're going to be moving to, how to move there, what to do, and when, and all of that kind of thing. And the larger the wedding party, now if it's just you and your fiance standing up there, I don't see any reason for a rehearsal. If you just got, your maid of honor and your best man, or your whatever, your people standing up with you, probably not going to be an issue. But if you got, three or more on each side, we're probably talking about some kind of a rehearsal. And if you're doing a rehearsal dinner, you may want to make it official and have the rehearsal before the fact. Okay. There is an additional fee from me if it's more than what I say is more than 2 hours before the wedding. In other words, if y'all aren't hiding from each other, or we have, I have had a situation where a bride, they were hiding from each other, but we had a stand in for the bride because, she can pretty much follow along. She knows what she's going to be doing, but everybody else, yeah. Um, so anyway, if it's more than 2 hours before the wedding, I do charge extra, just because it's another trip. Again, we're talking fuel here, so and time, of course. Uh, so, it, if we prefer, like I said, if it's going to be within a short period of time before the actual wedding starts, we can do that too. And like I said, if it's within 2 hours, there won't be that additional fee for that because, hey, it's a one trip and just a couple of extra hours on my part. So, there you go. We can do it that way too. But anyway, I would love to do that rehearsal. I know some planners don't like to work with officiants because they have officiants have varying amount of experience and stuff like that. But I've been around. I've been around for a while now and know what I'm doing, and so I can run that part of the ceremony. Planner has everything else, but that 10 minutes before the actual ceremony till I send you back down the aisle all belongs to me, right? So there you go. I'd love to be at that rehearsal. All right, where did I leave off here? Yeah, okay, there we go. Next category, marriage license and legalities. Do we need a marriage license? Yeah. Yeah, you need a marriage license. You're going to go to your county clerk's office, and each county is going to charge a different fee for their marriage licenses. The marriage license is good beginning 72 hours after you obtain that license. So, in other words, it has to be in effect for 3 days before you can get married, and it can't be any older than 90 days. Okay, so you have to be, there's that window, 3 days to 89 essentially, but 90 days at the most, until you have that marriage performed. Okay. Um, Now, also another thing, while I'm talking about the marriage license, if you do the, what's it called, a together, TWO, together, it's premarital training from a certified uh, place that does it, and you get on the site and they'll tell you where you can go to do that. But if you do that, you get $60 off the cost of your license, and the together training is usually free, so it is truly $60. It's not like, hey, we're just taking and spending part of it here and then part of it there. But the together is a free thing. So what they're trying to do is cut down on the number of marriages dissolving before their time by doing this premarital thing. Okay. Next one. Do you handle filing the marriage license? Why, yes, of course. I have to by law, actually. After the ceremony, of course, I'm going to sign that thing. I take a picture of it. I do a cam scan and I text it to you just so you can see it. Hey, look, we do have it. Right? Um, on your phone, and then I file it with the county clerk. Again, there's a big fine if I don't get it within a certain period of time. So, by law, definitely, I am required to get that thing filed. Okay. What else? What else? What else? What else? Okay. Next section. Next topic, or what do I want to call it? Category. Category. That's the word I was looking for. Day of wedding questions. Ooh, day of wedding. So, what should we expect from you on this wedding day? I will. Okay, I will arrive 30 to 45 minutes before this ceremony. Unless we're doing the rehearsal, like I said, within that 2 hour window before the ceremony, I'll be there, of course, in time for that. Uh, Probably a little bit early. That's a habitual thing for me. Early, early. But anyway, uh, if we have done that before, or it's not required or whatever, I'll be there about, like I said, 35, 45 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes early. I'll check in with you, confirm all those final details, make sure that everything that we need for the ceremony is in place. I'll be checking with the DJ or whoever's running the sound to make sure that that's operational, and sound if it's required, right? If you have Probably if you have 50 or fewer guests, we don't need a sound system. But unless you want me yelling in your ear so that everybody in the back row can hear me, well, y'all standing right in front of me. Um, yeah, we're probably going to need some kind of a sound system. Um, anyway, so then I make sure everything, like I said, everything's in place. If there's like the bride's coming down the aisle with mom and dad, that's happened before. So we need it wide enough for 3 people. So I make sure that arrangement is seated. I just like make sure everything is in place for the ceremony, right? We've got, if we need reserved seating for the families, that's been labeled or whatever, and everybody knows what's what. Um, a lot of times I spend some time talking to early arriving guests and having a good time with them. But anyway, and then I'm talking to the planner also, and I give copies of the outline of the ceremony, of the events, to all of these people, the photographer and the videographer. I talk to them. Um, the DJs usually mic him up. We're doing sound checks and all of that kind of thing. Make sure everything is all in order, and that's why I get there in that much time early, so that we make sure all of that's going to happen. Then I, of course, officiate this wonderful, heartfelt event, and then sign your marriage license. And we might even have a little signing ceremony as part of your ceremony. I love doing that part, and I always talk to my bride and groom about including that uh, in the ceremony, and we'll make sure that there's a table appropriate to have that done. But it's a nice little tradition that I'm trying to get more and more people, and they love it. It's a good photo opportunity, and again, it's a photographer thing, and we get somebody like I've done things from a bride and groom had each of their fathers as their witnesses, and so they have nice photos with their fathers. Um, I've had of course, the best man, a maid of honor, of course, are usually the ones that come up. I've had moms, the mothers of each of them come up, all kinds of things. So it's an honorable thing. Now here's the thing: Texas does not require witnesses on their wedding license, but most counties, if you say, "Hey, I would like to have a couple of lines added onto the form." So that I can have some witness signatures put on there, like I said, it's not going to be labeled, "Hey, witness," right here, but they'll just put a couple of lines on there, and uh, and we can do that. And so it's a really cool thing, and I love doing that. And it always is one of those things that the crowd goes, "Well, I've never seen this before." Pretty cool. And again, it's a way to honor those couple of people that come up and sign your marriage license. All right. Next question. Next question. What happens if you're unable to officiate due to an emergency? Well, there you go. I've never had an emergency arise the day of a wedding, or rehearsal day for that matter. But if it was to happen, I do have a backup plan. I do have a network of some other professional officiants here in the town that I can refer to. Actually, I'll just call them and say, "Hey, I need you to come up here and do this wedding quick, quick for me." And here's a copy. I'll email you a copy of the ceremony. Done, right? So you won't get me, but you'll get a reasonable facsimile. There you go. So somebody that can perform and legally perform your wedding ceremony. I have backup plans. Okay, I keep everybody in my phone in my little emergency list. But like I said, it's not in the years I've been doing this. I've not had that happen yet. Well, what if we have to reschedule? Whoa, what if we have to reschedule? Okay, well, if you need to reschedule, just let me know as soon as possible. In fact, if you've got more than just me, I mean, yeah, you're going to have a list of vendors. You're going to be making a lot of phone calls. Okay, so let me know as soon as possible. I will do my best to accommodate your new date. Of course, if I am already doing somebody else's wedding, or if it's some other thing that I uh, cannot get things done, um, then yeah, yeah. All right. What else? Is that it? Is that all my questions? That's only it. That's 14 questions that the frequently asked questions. I'm going to be putting these, of course, on my website. I'm going to be including a link to this video in one of my at least one of my emails. I don't know, wherever it's appropriate to put a link for this frequently asked questions video. But if you have any other questions that I did not address today, drop them down here in the comments, and yeah, and I will address them in a future video because I'll probably end up remaking at some point in the future a lot of these videos. And then I'll just integrate them into the new video, or I will address them, like in another video when I'm doing something else. I'll just say, "By the way, I've got another question about," and I'll throw it in there. Plus, it might be a topic. It might be big enough to where I have to make an entire topic about it. I'm planning on doing a video about just the rehearsal and how that's going to move around. Okay. But anyway, it's been great talking to y'all today. Um, I hope that you're enjoying my unboxing or unbagging. I'm not sure. Yeah, those videos that I'm doing. And I hope that you'll consider subscribing. I know I'm going to be putting a link here somewhere where you can just click to subscribe. Um, I'd love to get to a point where I can actually do live videos, and that takes some time, takes a lot of subscribers, and I know it's probably it may never happen. I mean, I'm just a wedding officiant, right? But anyway, so I can't wait to meet you face to face. I hope that I become your officiant, and if not, I hope that the information that I have provided can be of some use to you. All right. Y'all have a wonderful day, and I love you guys. Bye.